peace talks to end the war in Ukraine could get off to a rocky start today, and it's not even clear who's going to attend.
Yeah, Russian President Vladimir Putin may be a no-show. President Trump also isn't likely to attend either. That's what he said this morning. Doug Luzader live for us in Washington with the latest on this. Doug, good morning.
Good morning. There had been some initial hopes that these talks would be the first face-to-face negotiations between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin, but it does not look like that's going to happen. Over 3 years in now, the war in Ukraine isn't letting up, and today's peace talks might not have a big impact, with signs that Russian President Vladimir Putin won't even attend.
I don't think he's going to go if I don't go, and that's turned out to be right.
President Trump said he wouldn't go today, sending Secretary of State Marco Rubio to Turkey, the host country for the talks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he won't directly take part either if Putin isn't there. We have seen Putin meeting with senior officials in Russia, but he is not on the list of those expected to take part in negotiations.
We discussed Russia and Ukraine, where you've been a tremendous help in so many different ways.
Just yesterday, President Trump in Qatar thanking that country for its role, but still no resolution. And back in the U.S., Democrats say Trump isn't leaning on Russia.
Putin could care less. He has sadly got the president's number all too well. He knows that the president is essentially a paper tiger and has already betrayed Ukraine.
The president, though, leaving his options open for the talks.
I was thinking about going, but it's very tough because of what we're doing today and tomorrow. But, you know, if something happened, I'd go on Friday if it was appropriate.
All right, so we'll see whether that happens. Ukrainian President Zelensky says that if Putin doesn't show up, it's a clear sign that he does not want the war to end. Brooke and Bob.
The trip to Turkey was always kind of an if in terms of this leg. It wasn't always a sure thing that this was going to happen, Doug. So the president's still in Qatar this morning. And what's next for the president on his way to the UAE?
Yeah, he goes to the UAE, which is the third and final stop on this trip. And, you know, as we've talked about, this has been largely kind of a business exercise to drum up business for the United States. There's also been some, you know, efforts toward diplomacy along the way, trying to deal with the war in Gaza, the war in Ukraine, as we're talking about this morning. So there is a lot of work left to do. You know, the president is indicating that he might go tomorrow, but if Putin isn't there, it doesn't seem likely to happen.
Yeah, all right, we shall see. Doug Luzader live for us in Washington. We will check in with you later, Doug. Thank you.
Thank you.